URC jersey rankings, folks. The URC season is coming to the business end. Some teams are already ruled out of playoff contention, but not in the jersey rankings. Everybody is still alive. We're going to go from my least preferred to most preferred jerseys in this 2025-2026 URC season. I'm going to talk about my kind of reasonings as to why I like or dislike some of the jerseys. Actually, I think this season's a pretty good crop. I don't think there's any bad jerseys. I think this just goes from kind of okay to like genuinely quite nice. But as I said, we'll rank them from bottom to top. Sometimes my own logic doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Like sometimes I like teams that just go with simple, like retro or not too busy designs. And sometimes I like the ones that are a bit, they try something. And I criticize teams for being a bit boring. So my logic's a bit all over the place, but hey, personal preference and all that. We're going to start at number 16, and it's a Puma-made jersey. Puma. It is the Bulls jersey. It's just a bit boring. Maybe they took a step back from the previous year where they went a bit busier with the jersey, but it's just like it's a solid design. As I said, nothing bad about it in terms of like there's nothing egregiously ugly about it. It's just a solid jersey. I like the collar. The sponsors are relatively inoffensive in terms of they don't stick out like a sore thumb. There's a bit of dark blue. There's a bit of a white stripe. And the rest of it's the sky blue Bulls jersey. So it's solid without being spectacular. It's just kind of a bit dull. Like the Bulls, if I can just reach over here, have had some crackers in the past. I know this wasn't a home kit. This was an alternate kit. But like the Bulls have tried some stuff in the past. Like that was a must-buy jersey for me. I had to scour the internet to like get my hands on that jersey because that was an iconic classic jersey. This one just it is, isn't it? For mine. But it'll probably age pretty well because it's relatively inoffensive. Then I've gone with the Ulstermen, and I've noticed their jersey, which is this year made by Castor. Doesn't really matter who makes it. Doesn't change that much. And maybe that's a kind of white jersey thing. Like you notice the same with England jerseys at international level. You notice the same with like the Brumbies jerseys in Super Rugby. Teams that do white, I guess they can't do as much as some of the other teams design-wise. It just seems to be a thing. I do think they've gone with a little bit too much red on the sleeves. And I don't like the fact that the sponsor is green. Plus, I seem to prefer high collars. That one seems to be a bit lower. Again, that's just personal preference. But my Blues had a big green blob of a sponsor for many years. So the fact that it's green on the sponsorship doesn't sit as well. And as I said, just a bit too much red. Like the old Ulster jerseys just had just a little touch of red. This one I think is going a little bit overboard. So yeah, again, it's fine. It's not that different from Ulster jerseys of the past. But yeah, it's not my favorite one this year. Then I've gone with the Lions. They've got one made by Macron this year. Again, it's fine. They've added a sponsor since then. And I should say some of the jerseys, like the promo shot might look good or bad. And then the on-field jersey might look good or bad. Like sometimes the promo shot looks better than on-field. Some of the features that are really prominent on the promo shots don't look that... You can't really tell when you see the jerseys on the field. So, yeah, this one I feel like all that kind of graffiti looking stuff on the jersey isn't as noticeable when they are playing with this jersey on the field. And I do think the logo gets a little bit lost in the jersey. I think the logo should kind of pop out a bit more. But otherwise, it's fine. It's fine. I like my Lions jersey better than that one, but it's a Lions jersey. Solid enough, again, without being too spectacular. And then we got Zebre. Their one is made also by Macron, who seems to make a lot of the URC jerseys. Maybe this is just me being a bit of a grumpy old man, but I prefer this Zebre jersey. And it kind of looks a bit boring from here, but look at what's going on underneath. Top's just kind of black shoulders. But yeah, maybe I just haven't fully bought into the change. I haven't changed their logo. I haven't got their new kit. They've been blue and yellow for a couple of years now. I still haven't fully bought into that. It's actually not bad. They've tried something with the zebra stripes. It doesn't really get seen that much as prominently from the middle where the big logo or the big sponsorship thing is. But yeah, the heart's probably a little bit big. That could have been a bit smaller, isn't it? But yeah, that's all right. Maybe eventually I'll stop being stubborn and buy into the fact that they have changed their color scheme. Then we have another Macron one, And I've got Glasgow Warriors. And my initial reaction to this jersey was, that's a bit boring. Like, it's black, and it's got some dark blue trim along the edges. It doesn't seem like it's got that much else going on. They used to have kind of tartan bits and pieces on them, which I thought added a little bit of something. But if you zoom in on the sleeves on this jersey, there are actually some patterns there. They're just not as noticeable as in previous years. So it's a little bit more subtle. So again, in terms of jerseys that might age, stand the test of time a little bit better, that might be one of them, because they've kind of gone simplish in that jersey. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit too simple for mine. It's, at a glance, just looks like a black jersey with a little bit of dark blue on it. Then we got Cardiff, who, to be fair, I hadn't noticed all season until I zoomed in on this promo shot, that they've got all these little like logos, and I'm assuming famous places and all kinds of whatnot going on in the light blue hoops. I like hoops. I'm partial to hoops. I grew up supporting Auckland Rugby, who wear hoops. So hoops, I'm a decent fan of some hoops. It's another Macron jersey. I don't know that those little, maybe because I'm not from Cardiff, and most of these little logo things they've got in the middle of the hoops don't mean anything to me. But I would be less inclined to get that one than one which was just kind of plain hoops. What can I say? Like, I want stuff, but not that stuff, apparently. So here's where my logic kind of goes out the window a wee bit. But I don't mind it. I think it's all right. As I said, partial to the hoops. The sponsors, not too offensive in its prominence. It's white instead of being, you know, green or something else, which I apparently don't like. But yeah, that's the Cardiff kit. All right, now we move on to the Scarlets, who, kind of like Cardiff, have got a pattern on their jersey which I didn't really notice on the field that much, but you notice it in the promo shot. They got the silhouette of their kind of Scarlets logo and some kind of like diamond patterns there. So I don't really notice that when you see the team playing on the field, but it's a nice touch. It's a fairly simple-ish red jersey. They seem to have toned down the sponsorship a bit. Like in the past, Scarlets jerseys have been absolutely obliterated in sponsors. They've toned that down a wee bit, so it's a lot cleaner looking than Scarlets jerseys of the past. Again, this one is solid. Really, really solid. I quite decently like that Scarlets jersey. Then we got Leinster. And I got to ask, like, what's up with the lightning? Is it just because lightning's cool? I've never seen Leinster with, like, lightning on their kit. It's another Castor jersey. Like, I quite like the dark shade of blue. I like the simplicity of the jersey. I like the yellow trim on the sleeves. I like the yellow on the collar. What's up with the lightning? Like, there are teams who have, like the Stormers, if they had lightning, I would kind of get it. But maybe it's just because lightning's cool. I have to ask my son. He's 10 years old. He'd probably think lightning is cool. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it does do something with the jersey. But I kind of wouldn't have minded that one just to be a touch cleaner. I don't know. It's certainly better than their alternative kit. Whoever thought up the color scheme for the Leinster alternative kit, yeah, that one ain't great. This one is, again, it's fine. It is a fine kit from Leinster. Then we got the Ospreys, and I think I show a little bit of bias towards teams who wear black jerseys. Although I didn't rate Glasgow's one that highly, and it's black as well. But I like teams in black. Funnily enough, being a Kiwi, here I am still holding it against Zebra that they moved away from black. The Ospreys kit is black. It seems like it's got a bit of a Cookie Monster took a big chunk out of that jersey. Right? There's a big chunk kind of missing from the bottom, and I had to look it up because I knew that had to mean something, and apparently it's like the silhouette or like the map of, I think it was Swansea Bay. But I wouldn't have got that without looking it up. So maybe I'm ranking it down for making me feel dumb that I don't know that. In all seriousness, no, not really. I think it might look better without the big chunk in there, to be honest. But I am partial to a black jersey. I like the fact that they haven't just gone with the standard white for the Macron logo and for the Ospreys logo. They have also added a sponsor since then too, to be fair, since the promo shots had their photos taken. I quite like the trim. I like the collar. So I like most of the things going on about this jersey, just barring the chunk, although I get the meaning to it now that I've looked it up. Then we've got another black jersey, and it's the Sharks. It's probably ranked a little bit higher just because it's black. I'll be honest, and I've always liked the Sharks jersey. The first ever South African team's jersey that I ever bought was a Sharks jersey. So I quite like the Sharks. I don't know really what's going on with the blobby white bits. I guess it's just to break up the fact that it's a black jersey. Like they've got this little blobby white bit at the bottom. There's blobby white bits on the side. I think that's just a design choice to, as I said, to break up the monotony of just plain black. I wouldn't have minded just seeing plain black just to compare. Hollywood Bets. Yeah, it's a betting company, so there are better sponsors to grab in the world than Hollywood Bets. But yeah, it's a solid enough Sharks kit. I always rank the Sharks kits pretty highly. I quite like the white trim on the collar. I like a black jersey. What can I say? And then after the Sharks, we got the Dragons. The Dragons genuinely have a kind of like unique color scheme. Like there's a few teams in the URC who have similar color schemes, right? There's a few blue teams, there's a few black teams. There ain't anyone who's really clashing with the Dragons kind of gold kit. It is quite striking. I do think the promo shot looks better than the on-field jersey. Like that's got some real kind of pop to it. The on-field jersey is a bit duller than that. Like it's got the dragon scales thing, which looks awesome. Again, you can't really see that as clearly. So whoever did the promo shot did a really good job. It's made by VX3 or Vidi Vidi Vici. The sponsors are pretty inoffensive. I like the collar. I like the trims around the sleeves. I think it's a nice jersey. I like the fact that the only team in the league who wears that color is the Dragons. So they're kind of, unmistakable for anybody else. Now one that might be a little bit divisive because these guys tried something. I've gone with Edinburgh at number 5. That's a busy jersey. Like they've gone with these bouncing kind of corner lines around it with the Edinburgh colours. That's one that might not date that well. It's made by Macron. I think it's the one that they really tried to do something different, like compared to an old Edinburgh jersey like hanging up there, which is a lot more simple. That's what it can look like if they just go with, let's just go dark blue. Whereas this, they've tried something different. So if you're an Edinburgh fan, there's enough reason to pick up the jersey. Rather than just like if they just kept it dark blue and you had that one, you might not bother changing. So there's a genuine reason to get that one. Admittedly, that one might date kind of poorly, but I think it looks sharp. I think it looks sharp in the promo. I think it looks sharp on the field. I like the collar. The sponsor doesn't stick out too bad. So yeah, I quite like that Edinburgh jersey. Top 4. I have got the Stormers. Again, I'm showing a bit of my fondness for the hoops, especially blue and white. That's Auckland colours. The Stormers with their blue and white hoops. It's pretty nice. And I can even forgive the DHL logo for kind of sticking out as much as it does. Like normally I don't like that, but maybe because the Stormers have had DHL on their jersey for so long that I just don't, like it might feel wrong to not have it. I don't know. Like they've had DHL for so many years, since the Super Rugby days, easily. So yeah, they have changed their logo, which I am still getting used to. I'll admit. I haven't changed the logo on my board. But they have changed their logo. I like the collar. I like the hoops. I like the balance of the blue and white. I even like the Adidas kind of 3 stripes red on the shoulders. The Adidas logo in the middle and with DHL's red. It kind of adds to it. I don't know. Yeah, I quite like that Stormers kit. Not bad. Now, Munster. They did go through the very simple jersey design this year. Now, I don't know why I like that one more than some of the other ones which didn't try much, but that one just looks clean. Like that is a Munster jersey which I feel like is going to age really well. It's just red. They've got a little bit of something going on in the sleeves, but not much. And the collar, maybe I just like those kind of turnover collars. Just the one sponsor, boom, and it's white. It's nothing too sticking out. That's a clean Munster jersey. Really, really very nice. That's genuinely sweet. I really, really, really quite like that jersey. Maybe I should have ranked it higher. The more that I look at it, the more I like it. Then we got Benetton. We're back to my bloody hoops. Benetton. I probably shouldn't like this jersey. There's so many sponsors on there. But I do. I don't know why. Just the balance of those hoops, the color scheme with the green. I don't know. I just think it looks really good. Maybe because like you look at the Tommaso Menoncello wearing that jersey, he looks like a player, doesn't he? He is. That's a really, really nice Benetton jersey. I think it's better than some of the other Benetton jerseys in the past. It's the only one made by Area in terms of the manufacturers for this one. But they have gone a little bit scarlets in terms of how many sponsors they're chucking on there. But yeah, I do think the balance of the green and the white just looks really good. Looks like a proper rugby jersey. But number one, and maybe I just like green even more than black apparently, is Connacht's jersey. That is a jersey. The promo shot, I feel like the patterns on there stand out more than on-field. On-field, they're a little bit more subtle. I like the fact that all the sponsors, the logo, the manufacturer, they're all the same kind of color, and it's not just white this year. They've gone with a kind of gold. I like that big collar. I think that jersey looks immaculate. That's a really, really nice Connacht jersey. Wouldn't it be great to see them make the playoffs in that jersey? That's a very, very nice kit. But yes, those are the jersey rankings for the 2025-2026 season. As I said, I think generally this season they got them pretty right. If you want to see the Super Rugby kits in comparison, they went kind of retro this year for 30 years. At least the New Zealand teams did. 30 years kind of anniversary, which I quite enjoyed as well. Maybe that's the old man in me, but you guys let me know your thoughts. Do you like the ones which just kind of keep it slick and simple, or do you think they get a bit boring? You like when the teams try something? You guys take care. Subscribe to the channel for some more rugby jersey chat. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.